my friend, it is my fault, and it's also your fault, okay? It is my fault that I look this way, and it is your fault that you look the way you do, all right? It's my fault that I make the amount of money I make, and it's your fault that you make the amount of money you make. It is my fault that I'm single and not with somebody right now, and it's your fault that you're single, or your fault that you are with somebody, okay? What do I mean by that? The truth is, nothing in our life will change until we realize that it is our fault. It is our fault that we are wherever we are right now. And you might be watching these videos and wondering, like, well, Alex, why are you so intense? Why are you the way you are? Why do you even make these videos? Because I'm here to tell you that somebody changed my life. Somebody changed my life at one point just by looking at a video. And to this day, some people still change my life by the videos that I watch of them. And so it's my duty to change your life and give you maybe a changing perspective so you can improve the quality of your life. So back to what I was saying, it is your fault. It is our fault. Look, 3 years ago, I was in one of the worst relationships of my entire life, okay? That relationship, she couldn't make me feel a certain way, but I felt less of a man. I felt insecure. My confidence was low. I wasn't having a good time. And it was a horrible, horrible relationship. I was like, man, like I lost everything. I lost my self-esteem, my confidence. And I read this book. And this book was called The Way of the Superior Man. Because I wanted to fix my relationship. I was like, what am I doing wrong? Like, we're having sex like once a week. She doesn't show me love. She doesn't show me affection. What am I doing wrong? And I read this book, and it told me, imagine your woman as she is now. Imagine her like that for the next 30 years. And I thought to myself, there's no way in hell I can stay with her if she's like this for the next 30 years. And it proved that people don't really change that much. People will always be who they are at the core of themselves. I will always be who I am. I will never really be the super soft guy, things like that. Like, I'll have a soft side, but I'll never be super soft. I will always be this intense. So if a girl were to think, could I handle Alex being this intense for the rest of my life? If I can, great. If not, then he's just not the guy for me. Okay, same thing with the girl. If you can't handle that a girl isn't as affectionate, her main love language is not affection, and maybe that is your main love language, and she can't give you that, then you have to accept that she's not going to be that way. But if you decide to stay, you decide to endure, like I did. I decided to stay. I decided to endure the pain. I decided to endure the lack of confidence, all of that. It was my fault. It was my fault. And it wasn't until I realized that I had to leave and own up and accept the pain that came with leaving versus the pain. The pain of staying was less than the pain of leaving. Okay, it was greater than the pain of leaving. So I left. Now, everywhere in your life, look, I struggled financially for a very long time. And I'm not saying I'm perfect. In business, it's up and down at times. But the times that I struggled financially were the times where I didn't take full responsibility of my finances. I didn't take full responsibility. I kind of just put them to the side, but it's my fault that I was where I was financially. It wasn't until I took responsibility and said, I need to make a difference. I need to get better as a man, as a skillful person, as a trainer, and more disciplined in order for me to actually become better and get more financially better, okay? And so in your life right now, whether you're working a job and you don't like it or you're barely making ends meet, you got to realize the reason you're barely making ends meet is because you're not that good at being who you are. Like, you have some mistakes and you have some low quality parts of yourself that you need to improve on that you are ignoring. You're ignoring that. You have some sort of vices that you keep doing over and over and over again that are just holding you back. And to be honest, like, mine was women. Mine at one point was going out with my friends and drinking. Mine at one point was smoking hella weed. I was smoking weed every single day. And so slowly I started chipping away. Maybe yours is you have a bad spending habit. Maybe you have habits of spending money on clothes, on bottles, on things that are unnecessary. So understand, you have to take responsibility of the things that are going on in order for you to make a change. If you don't take responsibility, if you don't say this is my fucking fault and own up to it, nothing will change. If you blame your lack of finances on your boss, they don't pay me enough, oh, I can't find a job, I can't, like, motherfucker, then Good. You're giving your power and your control away to all these external things that you can't fucking control. You can't control who's going to give you a job, but you can control how great you are at whatever job you're aiming for. Okay? That's relationships, that's finance, my body. It is my fault that I look this way. It is my fault that I look this way, act this way, eat this way, work out. It's my fault. The thing about that, the outcome is great. I've always been in shape because it's always been my responsibility. I've always made it my responsibility. I didn't blame anybody for the way I look. I didn't blame anybody for the way I looked. I took full-on responsibility for the way I looked, the way I ate, the way I worked out. Okay? And so, take responsibility that, yeah, you know what? I'm fucking fat because I keep making excuses. It's my fault that I keep ordering these things. It's not, I went out to eat with my family. Like, I didn't want to be rude. It's still your responsibility. You are still going to deal with the consequences of going out, eating with your family, and deciding to go against the things that you want. If you want to be shredded, you want to be ripped, and you go out with your family, the amount of times I went with my families anywhere and I brought my own meal, or I decided to pick something off the menu. Honestly, I brought my own meal. I brought my own meal so many times because I wanted to stay shredded. I wanted to do this, and they eventually understood it. They eventually said, hey, that's Alex, that's who he is. But at the end, they looked at me like, man, that guy's in great shape. They wouldn't criticize me as much. They would be like, that's some insane discipline. He's got discipline. Oof, that takes a lot. They respected it. And some people made fun of it, but hey, people hate on what they gave up on, you know? So, another thing too, like my relationship, it was my responsibility. And when I lacked a relationship with God, and why do I preach God so much? I never realized how much I preach God until I realized that I preach Jesus a lot and God, and I don't really listen to pastors. That's what blows my mind. I don't listen to I don't listen to pastors. I don't go to church. I don't listen to anyone else really speak about God. I just don't like to. I like to speak to God one-on-one. That's it. Simple. It's like I have him one-on-one. And so I never want to shove it down anybody's throat. But if I didn't tell you about my relationship with God, right now, I would be holding back from you guys one of my biggest reasons for being how I am in my life. I think it's the core principle of why I'm so disciplined, why I want to be so successful, why I want to help people. So if I didn't speak to you guys about God, it's like me trying to teach you how to work out and never showing you my body. No, I don't want you to see how I actually look. Or actually the other way around. It's me showing you my body, but not giving you a single lick of advice for fitness or mindset or anything. So the reason I speak about God is because he's helped me out so much. Leon, venga para atrás. Leon. Sorry, guys. Venga aquí. Venga aquí. So, just own up. Be a man. Own up to your fucking shit. Own up to it. Like, fuck, it is my fault that I'm fucking broke. Fuck, it is my fault that I'm out of shape. Fuck, it is my fault that I'm single or I don't have a good relationship. It's my fault. It's my fault that I'm not really happy with my life. Okay, what the fuck am I gonna do about it? What's Alex saying? Alex says I gotta hit the fucking floor. Hit the floor. Alex says I gotta fucking eat better. I'm gonna start eating better. Alex says I gotta start praying to God. I'm gonna start praying to God. Take control, take responsibility, blame yourself. The minute you blame yourself, you become more of a man. You become a man that says, it's my fault, I'm gonna fucking do something about it. Done, finished. It takes courage to admit that it's your fault, 100%. When I fuck up, when I say something wrong to some people, hey, yo, my bad. I'll own up to it. I'll be the first one to own up to my mistakes. Why? Because I understand that it makes me more of a man when I own up to a mistake. It makes you way more of a man when you realize you fucked up and you're like, hey, I'm sorry. And I've done that so many times, and it sucks to apologize sometimes. You're like, I don't want to apologize. But that's your ego. When you don't want to apologize, when you know you're in the wrong, that's your ego. And so the minute I realize that, I'm like, I'm going to go apologize right now because that's growth. That's growth. I don't want to apologize. Hey, listen, I'm sorry. And you get that fucking stab of the ego. But immediately I'm like, I'm more of a man because I apologized. Because I took responsibility. I admitted I was in the wrong. Because that's what a real man does. He admits when he is wrong. Most men won't. They're like, no, well, you know, da-da-da. Hey, it takes a real man to admit. It takes a coward to try to find a way out. Don't be a fucking coward. take responsibility.